Okay, it is sketchbook tour time. I've been posting shorts for a month now. This is the first one that I posted on August 3rd. And today we're going to do a little tour through my sketchbooks and see what's been happening with me for the last month. I wanted to post something at least every day, and I almost did that. There were a couple days that I posted two. So anyway, here is day one. This is pretty typical of one of the things I like to do. I just like a female figure portrait kind of style. I just find it a lot of fun to do. Okay. This was number 2, and I believe when I posted it, I don't think that I had done the blue around here. I don't remember. One thing that I'm learning as I make the shorts videos is when I go back and I watch them and I watch my process, I am starting to see where I should have stopped but did not. I should have put the pen down. I should have put the brush down, but I kept going. And this is one of those cases. I think that it was much more successful before I put this border on it. First of all, I had masked this with tape, done the painting, and then took the tape off, and then the face of the figure was the same color, of course, as the background, and I think that looked better. Also, I think that the marker that I used for the lines here was just too thick for the size of the figure. But all in all, I really like it. I like the colors. I'm really happy with the composition, and yeah, like it. This is one that I think I did. I think I filmed it or videoed it rather, but I know that I didn't post it. And I didn't post it because I just hated it when I finished it. But what I did afterwards is I continued to work it. Sometimes if I really am unhappy with something, if I just say, okay, it's ruined, there's nowhere to go but up, I will continue to work on it and to do some more layers, and then I will wind up liking it more. And that was the case here. So I don't remember exactly what was done in the first round on this and what was done in the second, but I think that I added, maybe changed the color of the hair, it looks like, added more color, a different color. The lines in the background, I think, were the second go round. The eyes I messed with some for the second go round. I still don't like the eyes. I mean, they're crazy weird, but all in all, it's better to me than it was originally. And now I actually like it. Not everything about it, but I like the overall composition. I like the balance of colors. It has a really nice feel to me. Again, nothing is perfect, but it's just much more satisfying than it was. And I think that's a good lesson when you get through with something and you're like, I really am unhappy with it. You can't lose by continuing to work on it. It can't get any worse in your head, so might as well just see what else you can make out of it. And so I'm very happy with that. This one, I don't think I filmed, or if I did not post it. It looks like she's got some disturbing problem there that looks rather painful. I'm fine with wonkiness, but I don't know what I was doing on this one. But no, this one is not very interesting to me. 'Cause I'm not really happy with her face. However, again, I like the overall placement of things on the page, and I like the overall colors of the piece. I also like, not in all of them, but in some of them, I have the background different on each side of the figure. Sometimes I will add a texture with the pen, and sometimes I will have a different color. And I like that in many cases. Okay, anything else in this one? Oh, here's another one. This, I was really happy with it at the time, and I look back at it today, I'm like, what? It seems odd that I didn't put more color in her face. But no, again, I like the composition. I like the balance, and it's just, I find it satisfying. This one makes me laugh. To me, she looks like she should be in The Simpsons. There's something about her face that reminds me of The Simpsons, and the hair's a little sideshow bob. I love the hair. It just makes me laugh. I like the colors, and I don't know. I just think it's a lot of fun. Lots and lots of fun. This one, there's some things that really bother me about it, the color-wise. It just looks muddy to me. The background and the hair, there's not enough differentiation, and so that bothers me. But what I do really like about it is I like the expression on her face. It seems thoughtful, which I always like. If I can have a face that looks like they have thoughts in that head, even if it is kind of caricature, kind of cartoony, if it still looks like there's something going on inside that brain, then that's a bonus. What I like especially though about this is that, it may be because of the placement of the hair, it looks like the head is tilted a little bit, and it looks like movement to me. I can see a little indication of movement, and I think that is interesting. I like it a lot. And I do not mind that one shoulder is higher than the other. That doesn't bother me. I don't know. Some things bother me, some things don't. This one, again, I like the expression on her face, because to me, she's thoughtful. I love the colors. I think it was about this time when you start seeing some of these more intense colors is when I purchased a few more tubes of paint and really expanded what I could do. And that was fun. Prior to purchasing more paint, and these are all watercolors, I was trying to mix colors with what I had, and so that was very inconsistent, and that's why I was getting a lot of muddy things, things I didn't like. So I broke down and spent a few bucks, and have been much happier since then. So yeah, and again we have that movement with the hair, which I like. Ooh, I don't know what that is. And that's all. This was just the tail end of an old sketchbook. So then, at the same time that I bought these new colors, I bought some new sketchbooks, and I worked 2 identical ones at the same time. I do that sometimes because, especially if I'm working in like watercolor, which I am here, then if I'm sitting down and I'm working on one and I want to go on and do another one right away, this one is still wet, so it's nice to have 2 notebooks, 2 sketchbooks to go back and forth in. So I bought a couple of these. This was just, buy one, get one 50% off at Michael's. So not a big investment, but specifically watercolor paper, so it has enough substance for all that water. And yeah, it's pretty nice. So, and this is a little bit larger page than I'd been working on before, and that was a lot of fun. So again, this was really just the first few days when I had those additional colors and started really enjoying them. I think this is indigo, which I cannot get enough of, and I believe this was Payne's Gray. But I like the I don't know. Normally I would think that these are too much alike for me to put them in the same frame, but I think they look really nice together, and I like how the brush strokes here give a feeling of the fabric, and the folding and the flowing of the fabric is kind of nice. That one I was very happy with. This one makes me laugh too. And when I start out with these, often the only thing that I have in my head is, okay, these are 3 colors that I want to use so that I don't have to do a lot of hesitation while I am painting and drawing, and so that I can get that short done in a brief amount of time. And so all I knew was I was going to go for glasses, and maybe these 3 colors, and then just went from there. And I really like her face. The glasses are fun. I love the hairstyle. One thing I don't like about this one is that I wish I'd paid more attention to her clothing. I like the shape of the collar, but something about the nature of the color here and the background, they're too much alike. The colors are different, but the texture of them is too much alike, and so I would rather have more, a stronger differentiation between those two. This is very pink, and it was a lot of fun to use those vibrant colors. I like the overall composition of it, and here again is an instance of where the features are very stylized, extremely stylized, very cartoonish, and yet I look at the face and I think, okay, something is going on inside that little cartoon brain. Don't know what it is, but something's happening. And again, I like a little bit of movement. This is another piece that when I finished it and I was looking back at the short video, I said to myself, okay, I should have stopped when I was ahead, and yeah, that was basically what I thought. I should have stopped when I was ahead, because the lines that I have a habit of using, whether I need them or not, made some of this just less sharp than it was. And when I put a line on there, usually it's to make it more defined than it was. But this took it the wrong direction, because I had a really sharp differentiation between the neck and the background. It was very sharp that I managed with my brush, and then the line kind of blurred it, kind of ruined it. And one of the problems that I had with controlling the line on this piece and some of the others is that, okay, even though I wasn't working as fast as the video makes it look like, as the time-lapse video looks like, I was still working quite fast, because I wanted to be sure that it was all done and that the video would wind up being shorter than a minute. They were all much shorter than a minute, but I still had that time constraint in my head. So I did work fast, and I would lay down watercolor and then not really feel like I had time to let it completely dry, and then I was going back in with the pen to make marks. So if it had been all dry, I could have had more control over my lines, because I could have rested my hand on the paper, but instead it was very awkward. So I think less lines would have been good, and maybe a finer lined pen would have helped too. But still, overall, I really like it. I like the contrast in the colors, and the balance of white paper to color. I think it's overall nicely balanced, and I like that. And I need a drink of water here. Okay, ooh, I love these colors. And this was a lot of fun to do the hair. And again, when I start, I have a very, very vague idea of what I'm gonna do. I picked out the colors on this one, I remember. And then I thought, okay, wavy hair. So it was fun to do the waves of the hair. I like these very clear colors, the aqua green and the yellow ochre look really pretty together. I think all three of them look really nice together. And when I was done with it, I thought, what does the style remind me of? And it kind of reminds me of some kind of Art Deco-y, the figure does. So anyway, it's fun, very summery to me. This one, I kind of think I was trying to do the same thing and I didn't do it, because that one I loved so much, and this is okay. And normally proportion things don't bother me. Nothing is going to be perfect, and I like things to be a little off, a little wonky, but still it just looks like her neck is way too thick, and that bothers me. And I'm not really happy with the way I put the lines on her hair. So again, another case with lines that I don't think look very good, that I wish that I had not done. But let me also say that as I progressed through the month, one of the things that I learned is that if I do want to use lines, if I do want to use these marks, I can change the order in which I do things on the page. So if I did this, when I did this originally, I probably did all of the paint and then went back and did the lines, which again was difficult because I would have wet paint underneath my hand. But if I was going to do this very same one today, I would have done the hair, then the face, and I just varied it enough so that there was a little time for things to dry more, and also leave some lines off. So anyway, but I like the colors again. This one makes me very happy. And this is one of the cases where I look at this face and I had no person in mind. It just kind of happened. But when I look at it, she reminds me of someone, and I'm trying to figure out who. And I think she reminds me, like the shape of her mouth reminds me of one of my childhood friends' moms. The whole face reminds me of her mom, but it also made me think, does it look like Jo Beth Williams or something? I don't know. But anyway, it looks very summery to me. I like the asymmetry of the hair, which I'm finding that I do that a lot, is to have that asymmetrical, and I like it. And also, yellow ochre, I have decided, is the universal, it's, oh shoot, what is it called? The universal donor of colors. It goes with everything. I love it. It looks good with hot colors. It looks good with cool colors. It brings everything together. And so anyway, love it. This one is something where it's, there's nothing terribly wrong with it, but I just don't care for it very much. I think the idea of this dress was really neat, but it just looks like I worked at it too hard. It doesn't, I don't know. Yeah, I worked at it too hard. And I do like again, that Sideshow Bob kind of spray of hair is fun. But I find her kind of just the whole thing kind of dull, not as good of a composition. She doesn't take up as much. She should take up more space on the page. It's just kind of like in half. So yeah, it's okay. Again, I put down lines where I shouldn't have. Now, the nature of the lines is not so bad, but when I went back and I looked at the video, this right here, I think this was a mistake to have her chin there. I think it just looked better without it. So, less is more. I'm glad I had the good sense to not put a line here, because I love her dress. I think that what I did with the paintbrush really feels like fabric. It just looks to me like this is chiffon with very fine gathers, and it has this beautiful flow to it. I kind of like the contrast of things that are very flat, like the color of her hair, and not realistic, to then have something that has a more realistic look to it, to me at least, and that would be the texture of the fabric of her dress. And I like the two different colors here. And the look on her face is kind of fun. Then I branched out a little bit and did some pages that had multiple figures in them. This one is fun. I like this one. I love the colors. And in, my earlier years, I wouldn't have thought that I would like a mixture of such hot and such cool colors together. I tend to be one or the other, usually cool colors, but I really like these here. And again, I think that the yellow ochre ties everything together really well. It's just the glue that holds stuff together for me. And it also, this combination of colors is very 1960s, very late 60s, early 70s, that kind of psychedelic-y look that you would see in a lot of things. And I like it. I like it. This, I like a lot of things about it. There's something very cold about it, though, that I don't care for, but I love the hair. I thought the hair was really fun, and I want to use that kind of wavy technique more because I think it looks really fun. And I like the colors overall. So yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but color-wise, I just think it's really, really fun. This is one that was better earlier on. It's overall, like the clothing and the background and the hat, too much alike. It's too muddy to me, but not awful. Not awful. And it was fun to experiment with a hat. Actually, I think when I started, my intention was that this was hair, and then I thought, no, I think it's a hat. So I like to make those changes along the way. And then just some little figures. I always start with the hair on these and then work from there. And do not think ahead, really. Just go with it. And some more multiple figures. They're all on different scales. I mean, these two seem like they're in a different universe than these two. But it's been really fun to experiment again with the mixing of so many colors together that I'm finding really, really fun. Yeah, I love drawing clothes. It's just a good time. This just messing around with some tail ends of getting stuff off the palette, and I had bought a Speedball ink pen to practice with, and that's what some of this is. I don't know if I'm going to be using that a lot yet because I'm not very good with it. Again, I like these colors together. Lots of fun. A little 70s hair and fashion vibe in that one for me, which I enjoy. This, overworking, again, I originally made a video where all I did was paint the hair, the green and the ochre of the hair, and then the color of the dresses, and I didn't have any of this line in it or the faces or anything, and it was really neat. And then I went back and didn't film me adding all the lines in, and I think I took it down a lot of notches, but hey, you live, you learn. Still, I love these colors together, and I was very happy, especially with this one, that I felt like, again, the brushwork really has a feeling of a fluttery, flowy gown. That was a lot of fun. This, I think, is my favorite piece of everything I've done in the last month. It's just, I find it very satisfying. I like how, I don't know if I had two colors on my brush by accident, but the kind of separation of brown and green in her hair, I like. I like the expression on her face. I like that I didn't overdo it with line. I like that I had the sense to start using, I'm using a finer pen now when I do use a pen. And around this time, I'm noticing that I'm seeing, because everything's wet because I'm working so fast. I'm very careful in some places to avoid the colors bleeding into each other, and as a result, when I look back, it kind of looks like, instead of a watercolor, it looks like it's a print that's kind of misaligned, and I like that. I really do. And who does she remind me of? Isabella Rossellini, maybe? See, if I try to make something look like a person, it's not going to look like them. But after the fact, then sometimes it does look like someone. But this one I just find very satisfying. Makes me happy. This I filmed, and there's no way I'm putting it up online. And I can't believe I'm actually showing it here because I'm not happy with it at all. Well, yeah, the face, but I wanted to try a profile, and this looks extremely wonky to me. But on the good side, again, the overall composition I like. So, and the colors I like. So this is something that I want to continue to experiment with. And actually, this should give me a lot of hope for being better in the future, but it's not my proudest moment. This makes me very happy. I think that the intensity and the clarity of the colors of this is aqua green, sap green, and this is a rose color, and our good friend yellow ochre. I just love these colors together, and the straight lines, again, the little white area where the colors come to meet, the brushwork on the hair. There's so little when I do these, it's premeditated. So when I get to the end, I feel like I learn so much, because I'm like, okay, this I like, that I don't like, this I like. But yeah, that's a very satisfying one. This, I'm going to take in another drink because I'm yapping so much. You might be hearing airplanes, the Cleveland Air Show's going on out the window. This one changed a lot as I was doing it, because as I went along, I did a few things that then I looked at and I'm like, I don't like that. So I completely changed some colors. I started out with the hair being like a wet on wet thing. It was weird. And the background, I don't know if it was rose or if it was that hot opera pink, one or the other. But then I didn't like it as a whole, so I went over it with the yellow ochre, and now I really like the color that is there. And then I went over the hair with just that solid wash of blue. I like the tilt on this one that is different than the others that I've done. And I'm starting to really like the little the shadows that I'm doing in the eyes. Those I just like the look of. So more little sketches. This is a very strange looking cat who snuck in. I love seeing all the different colors on a page. This one I like particularly just with the lines that aren't meeting. I like having something open in the drawing of it. It's that's very satisfying. Okay, so So that's all that's in here, and that's the bulk of everything. Now I still have a few things in the sister notebook here. This one is the sister sketchbook. This is a piece that I did specifically for the banner of my YouTube page. And I think it looks nice up there. So it just, it's just the faces of these gals. And again, I love doing clothes. It's so much fun. This I did not film. This is just muddy craziness, but I like the shape of the birds. I just wanted to do something different. This, I don't know, cleaning out a brush. This is a different one, and I want to do more like this. I like not having anything outlined at all on the face, and just the shape of the face being suggested by the scarf and the glasses and the hair. I want to do more of that. I think she looks like someone fun to know. And I think this was the first time that I painted circles, little circles like this to make up the hair, and I like the way that looks. Oh, this makes me angry. This is something I really dislike, and I'm showing it to you. It's just, I don't know. I must have been tired. Okay, this is interesting, and yeah, very interesting. I like this one a lot. I like the mixture of the colors. I like the simplicity of the facial features. The overall composition I really, really like. I like that the face bleeds into the to the rest of the paper. I don't know. I just like it. And I have to say, when I was done and I looked at her, I thought she reminded me of a chess piece. She looks like a chess piece to me. Something about that, because it's so angular. I don't know, but yeah, like it a lot. I was trying another wet on wet hair. Another case of, I wish I had not done some things. I went back and added some more green to bring the hairline down, and I don't think that works very well. I'm not happy with the balance of colors, but not awful. And again, when I was done, I thought, oh, she kind of looks like Helen Mirren, so that makes me like it a little more. And then I just finally did something that I'd been meaning to do for a couple weeks. I just did this the other day, and that I went through all of the tube watercolors that I have and just kind of cataloged them so that I would know what I have, and it would help in making my selections of what to use for what easier. So this is it. That's all I've got. Some I bought just because I thought, oh, well, I should have a yellow, I should have an orange. And then the others I bought just because I love indigo, I love Payne's Gray. And yeah, so those are my colors. And I did another collection of fashionable ladies here. Need to work on my feet and hands and arms and all that. But again, loved coming up with the clothes, loved coming up with the hair. Like the mixture of colors, love the asymmetrical hair. And then all the variation on this one, and then I tried to make these gals all in the same kind of thing. They're all wearing those ochre tights, and everybody's in blues and greens. So that's kind of fun too. Anything else, or is that it? Random drawing. I think that started to be a cat. I like this, and I think that's taking things in a little different direction that I might want to explore. And this one I did today. Like the glasses. The shape of the head is weird. It's not my favorite, but I like the balance of color. I like the individual components. I like the shape of the hair. So all in all, just fine. So that's it. That is a month of Sketchbook for me. And I was working my day job quite a bit over that month, and still every day I managed to do something that it didn't take very long. So I feel like I gained a lot in the month just by doing that little bit every day. And then putting it online, putting it in front of some people, putting it in front of people. I just felt, I felt like I made progress because of the consistency, because of being able to go back and watch videos of how I did things. Then that enabled me to make some conscious decisions about directions I wanted to go, things I wanted to keep, things I wanted to lose. So anyway, that's it for this time. Thank you so much if you are still listening, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.